The night was darker than usual, the kind of darkness that seems to swallow up the world, leaving only the sound of the wind and the distant, relentless crash of the waves. A wild storm raged over Blackwood Bay, the sky alive with jagged lightning and thunder that shook the ground beneath our feet. The wind howled like a living thing, waves crashed with a fury I'd never seen before, and somewhere in the chaos fireworks fizzled and popped, their colors lost against the angry sky. 5 of us were crammed in my brother's old station wagon, the windows fogged up, laughter and nerves mixing as rain hammered down so hard it sounded like gravel on the roof. My brother's knuckles whitened on the wheel, his jaw clenched. "I can't see a thing," he shouted, his voice barely rising above the storm's roar. Suddenly lightning split the sky wide open, and in that blinding flash a figure appeared in the middle of the road, unmoving, hair plastered to its face, eyes hidden in shadow. My brother swerved hard. Tires screamed against the slick pavement. The world spun out of control, a blur of trees, headlights, and pure, heart-pounding fear. Metal crunched, glass shattered, and for a moment everything went black as if the storm had swallowed us whole. When I came to, the car was nose down in a sandy ditch, the engine dead, headlights flickering, the ocean roaring closer than ever, waves licking at the tires. The storm raged on outside, but inside the car, a new terror had taken hold, one that made the storm seem almost distant. We had no idea what we'd just set in motion, or that the real nightmare was only just beginning. We stumbled out of the wreck, hearts pounding, soaked to the bone by the relentless rain. The world felt unreal, headlights flickering on the slick asphalt, our breaths coming in ragged gasps. Somehow we were alive, shaken, bruised, but breathing. But then we saw it, the figure sprawled on the wet road behind us, limbs twisted unnaturally, unmoving in the harsh glare of the streetlights. Fear gripped us as we crept closer, every step heavy with dread. The body was still, face hidden in shadow, and the silence pressed in around us, thick and suffocating. We were just kids, trembling in the darkness, terrified of what we'd done and what it might mean for my brother. The weight of our actions settled on our shoulders, cold and unrelenting. As the first light of dawn crept over the horizon, we made a desperate, terrible choice. Driven by panic and fear, we dragged the body away from the road, across the empty dunes where no one would see. Digging with our bare hands, we clawed at the cold, damp sand, our fingers numb and raw. We buried the secret deep, hoping the earth would swallow our guilt along with it. There were no words between us, just frantic movement, the sound of our breathing, and the crushing weight of guilt that seemed to grow heavier with every handful of sand. When it was done, we smoothed the sand with shaking hands, erasing every trace we could, desperate to hide what we'd done from the world and from ourselves. As the sun rose higher, painting the sky with pale gold, we stood in a solemn circle. We made a pact, never speak of this, not to anyone, not ever. Our secret bound us together, a silent promise sealed by fear. Our secret was sealed by terror and buried beneath the shifting sand, hidden from the world, but never from our own memories. We walked away from that lonely beach, the morning mist curling around our ankles, but the weight of what we'd done clung to us. The beach would never let us go. From that moment on, the promise haunted us, echoing in every shadow, every nightmare, a secret forever buried in the sand. A year passed, but the memory of that night clung to me like a shadow. We drifted apart, the secret festering between us. I tried to move on, but the feeling of being watched never left. On the anniversary, a plain envelope arrived. No return address. My name scrawled in shaky letters. Inside, "I know what you buried on the beach." My blood ran cold. Someone knew. Panic surged. Who else was there? We'd been so careful. Was it a cruel prank or something worse? The fear I'd buried came rushing back, stronger than ever. The ghost of Midnight Beach was awake. I called the others, my voice trembling as I dialed each number. Each had received the same letter, delivered in chillingly personal ways that left us unsettled. We met at the abandoned playground, fear and suspicion thick in the air around us. Chloe cried. Marco paced restlessly. Sam stared at the ground, silent and withdrawn. We were strangers now, bound only by dread. "Who could it be?" Marco demanded, his voice sharp. "We checked. No one else was there." Accusations flew between us. Could one of us actually be behind this? One by one we denied it, but trust was already gone. Wild theories filled the night. A witness, a fisherman, or something not quite human. Sam finally whispered, "What if it's the person we buried?" Silence followed. The idea was impossible, yet in the darkness it felt real. Our pact was shattered, replaced by fear and doubt that crept into our hearts. The secret was no longer ours alone. Days blurred into paranoia. Shadows seemed to move even when we stood perfectly still, as if the night itself was alive and watching us from every corner. Sleep became a stranger, and every creak of the house set our nerves on edge. Whispers haunted us, drifting through the halls and echoing in our dreams, and wet sand appeared where it shouldn't, on doorsteps, in hallways, even inside our shoes. Chloe saw a figure outside her house, unmoving, just watching, its presence lingering long after it vanished. Marco found sand on his doorstep, the grains forming strange patterns, as if someone, or something, had left a message only we could understand. I heard my name in the wind, whispered so softly I almost doubted it, but it was always there, calling me back to the shore. We drove past the beach, never daring to stop, haunted by what lay beneath the dunes. The ocean seemed to pulse with secrets, its waves hiding more than just driftwood and shells. We asked around, no one knew of a missing person. The neighbors grew wary, their eyes darting away as if afraid to get involved. It was as if our victim never existed. No records, no flyers, not even a rumor, just a void where a life should have been. The letters kept coming, each more personal, each one written in a hand that seemed to know our every secret, our every fear. Each letter proved the sender knew everything. Details only we could have known, memories twisted into threats. Fear turned us against each other, suspicion poisoning every glance, every word. We started to wonder if one of us was the traitor. The mystery deepened. Was it revenge, a ghost from our past, or something darker still? Or was it something that crawled from the grave, drawn by the secrets we tried to bury? On stormy nights, I hear the ocean and know our secret isn't buried. It's alive, waiting, restless as the tide itself. The tide is rising to claim us. Midnight Beach never forgets, and neither does whatever waits beneath its whispering waves.